What do you feel like is the thing every man should give to their wife more that would bring more joy, peace, and love to the relationship, and every woman should bring to their husband more that would create more peace, love, respect?
It's a great question from someone who's dating right now.
Exactly.
That's pretty serious. That's a great question. So I would say, I'd answer it in two different ways. The first way I would say is, what we want to do is find what is their love language, and then we want to love them in that language. We don't want to love them the way we want to be loved. We want to love them the way they want to be loved. So that's the first thing. And then I think the second thing is that for women, what they typically need, and it's always dangerous to talk, but what women generally want to know: do you love, cherish, and value me today? So they want love, cherish, and value. Or what a man usually wants is some version of, do you believe in me and respect me today? Those are two different things. And so what tends to happen is a woman wants to be loved, cherished, and valued, so she wants to love, cherish, and value her husband in kind of that more intimate, and a guy wants to be respected and admired, and so he may say, "You look beautiful," kind of admiring her looks or whatever. And at some point, she's like, "I want to be more than just a, physical person to you. I want to be an emotional person." And so I would say, what I want to do for Amy is I want to love, cherish her, and value her, and then the way she loves me is more belief in me, admire, and so I tend to think that, your spouse is often becoming more of what you see in them and say about them. If you see greatness and speak greatness and encourage what you're seeing the wins, they tend to become more of that. They tend to do what's rewarded. And if you tell them what they're not and tell them where they're failing and how they suck, oftentimes it tears them down and they have a harder time pulling out of it. And so we're multipliers, right? So when I met you today, you gave me a long hug. And so next time I'm going to hug you longer. You said I give long hugs. And so what you give me, I give back. And so if you don't like what you're getting in a relationship, you need to look at what you're giving.
True.
And so we're either investing in and helping someone become more, or we're tearing down and becoming less. And if I give her affection, give her the words that build her up, love her in her language, and she gives back to me, then it starts compounding. And then it's not perfect by any means.
Sure.
But it becomes rich and meaningful, and then you can endure the hard times. If I'm tearing her down, she's telling me, "You're nothing, whatever, I wish you were something like so-and-so," it robs me of confidence, it robs me of intimacy, and it spirals in the wrong way.
I love that. I'm really careful about the words I use in my relationship with Martha. I don't know if I'm ever critical of her. And I think I was telling you off camera, I was like, once I decided I'm going to be committed to you, I'm going to accept you for who you are. So why would I be critical of things if I'm accepting of you?
Right.
And that doesn't mean I won't give her an opinion if she asks for it. And sometimes I'll say, "Hey, listen, would you like a suggestion about what I'm noticing that's happening right now?" Some suggestions, some feedback, only if you're open to it. But I'm not going to be, because I don't want someone to be like, "You need to stop doing this, this, and this," because I'm not going to receive that well. See if I want the feedback first.
Right.
Maybe encourage some good things in me first, and then,
100%.
And then be like, "Hey, but this one thing you're doing over here, I see it maybe affecting you. And you may want to take a look at it."
That's brilliant.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and what you're doing is you're working on your relationship. I call it working on it in non-conflict times.
Yes.
So
not at 2 a.m. when you're tired.
No. And what you're doing is brilliant too. So here's what we've learned to do is it's evening time. The kids are in bed. And we'll have kind of a marriage checkup. And so I'll say, what are 3 things that I'm doing that are blessing you, and what's one suggestion of a way I could love you better? So what does that do? Three things. She'll often tell me things that I'm doing that are not what I thought were blessing. Like, I just bought you flowers. She didn't really care.
Yeah.
But I helped go spend time with her with the grandkids. She cared about that. So it helps me know what are the 3 things, and then there's 3 things, and then what's one way I could love you better?
Not one way I'm horrible at, but one way I can be
positive.
Better. Yes.
But then she gets to, after affirming me, give me something that really might be a complaint.
That's good.
It really bothers me when you do this, but it's framed. And so then...
I like that.
And then we do it both ways, and we've learned so much.
I like that a lot.
We learned it so much, and it's during a non-conflict time, because when you're emotional,
I don't want to hear this. Yeah, exactly. Before the interview continues, if you feel like you're not living your most authentic life, not leaning into your purpose, and not living the life that your future self would be extremely proud of, I've written a new book called The Greatness Mindset, and I think you're going to love this. Through powerful stories, science-backed strategies, and step-by-step guidance, The Greatness Mindset will help you overcome all the different challenges in your life to design the life of your dreams and then turn it into your reality. Make sure to click the link below in the description to get your copy today. Okay, let's get back to this video. This is beautiful, man. We're gonna have you come back on and do a whole relationship episode sometime. But I've got a couple final questions for you, Craig.
Yep.
Your book, The Power to Change, Mastering the Habits That Matter Most. I want people to get this because this is practical, biblical, and doable. When you discover the power to change. So I want people to get this book because I feel like we're either going to be stuck in a situation we don't enjoy, or we're going to need to overcome something by experiencing some type of pain,
right,
some type of change to transform from the inside out in order to enjoy life better. So somewhere there's going to be pain, like we talked about in the beginning.
Right.
But it's really learning the habits that matter most
Yep.
to support you in changing in the right ways. And so I know people are going to get a lot of value from this book. I encourage you guys to get one for yourself, a few for some friends as well. The Power to Change. Make sure you guys get a few of these copies for your friends. Where can we go and get this book or support you specifically for the book?
Yeah, the book is anywhere books are sold, and that's the best place to get it because we don't sell any.
Yeah.
And so, Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, Mardel, anywhere books are sold, it's there. And
what's the best website for you to stay in touch as well, and also the social media that people can follow?
Yeah, so my name, Craig Rochelle, on pretty much most platforms. And website would be life.church is the church that I lead, that's in 44 different locations. And then, of course, there's an online avenue there. And then for anybody that maybe wants to learn more about the Bible, the YouVersion Bible app is something that we're honored to give away, completely free.
YouVersion.
YouVersion, YOUVERSION. And then there's literally hundreds and hundreds of translations, hundreds and hundreds of languages, devotions from people all over the world, plans and such that can help people on a spiritual journey that would be meaningful to me to give that as a gift to someone.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
We appreciate that. This is a question I ask everyone at the end called 3 Truths.
Yep.
So imagine your last day on earth many years away. You accomplish everything you want to accomplish. You rid yourself of any insecurity you might have. And you live a beautiful life the rest of your life. But for whatever reason, everything you've created has to go with you or somewhere else. We don't have access to the book, the apps, the churches, for whatever reason, hypothetical. This podcast is gone, everything, but you get 3 things to share with the world. And this is all we would have of your content. 3 truths or 3 lessons. What would be those 3 truths for you?
I would say, and I hope that a broad audience would accept this from me because I wouldn't push it, but I would say that when you look at who Jesus was, the way he loved the outcast, the broken, that I believe that he is, that Jesus is love and that Jesus saves. I would say number 1. I'd say number 2, what I would say is that you're a leader because you have influence. Use that influence to make a difference in this world. And I would stay there for just a moment because most people truly don't see themselves as leaders. And we have to ask ourselves, what is leadership? Leadership is influence, and everybody has influence. And so I really try to help people see that they have influence. And then I would say that in a world full of doubt, hate, brokenness, that, again, to go back to the book that inspires me, that love never fails. And I would say that love generously, that's the best thing you can do to make the world a better place. And the more that you give, the more that you give love, the more that you serve others, the more meaningful life's going to be. So I would say Jesus saves, you're a leader, use it, and love well.
That's beautiful, man. I want to acknowledge you, Craig, for the way you show up. Again, I've watched your stuff for a while. and just meeting you and connecting with you, you really show up as a leader to me. The way you've designed your life, your marriage, your business, your church, your service. And it's inspiring. It's very inspiring to me. So I acknowledge you for how you show up and how you show up at a high level, even when you feel like you might have more to lose or something, when you've accomplished more or you've accomplished a certain level. So I acknowledge your constant courage to lean into being more fearless and taking the necessary risks and just the way you serve, man. I just really acknowledge your message, in your example. So I want to.
Thank you. Well, thank you for creating content that helps me and so many other people. That to be on this with the quality of people you bring in is humbling and an honor to be amongst some of the greatest people that I've ever learned from. And so thank you for creating that.
I appreciate it. Final question, Craig. What's your definition of greatness?
Well, I have to go to script on that. That the greatest would be those that serve.
Yes.
And just the way your team has served and welcomed me today, you have that quality, and so that really is greatness. That to make a difference in other people's lives, to leave them better, to come as a giver, to believe the best and serve others. That makes greatness. And I read a book, a really good book called by Rabbi Daniel Lapin. And anyway, basically he says, how do you create wealth? You actually serve people. I try not to run from pain. I don't like it, but I know that it's a part of it. And so I try to embrace it as a part of what we do.
Why do you think so many people avoid facing pain when they know that's what's going to help them get to the next level and actually remove the pain and suffering they're in?
Yeah, I don't know that everybody really knows that. I think sometimes